Last session, you accepted the Duke's favor of looking into the paranormal problem in the Lumbridge graveyard. During evening mass, the party split, some to check out the going-ons in the church, and some to scout the graveyard. An entity appeared and listened in on the mass itself. Upon investigation, this is the entity of Fesher Lumbristo, a founder of Lumbridge. It appears someone had grave robbed his coffin and stolen his skull. We left off with the party resting before heading into the nearby swamp at daybreak to find Father Urhney and track down the skull to put Fesher back to rest. You all also hit level 2, so congrats on that. And
Hell
with
yeah.
that, party, are there any questions, comments, or concerns before we get started?
Where to get that head back?
Let me
Nothing
move
from
ya
me.
over to where we left off. Okay, so you all have a good night's rest and feel rejuvenated after the previous day's events. Some of you dream of goblins and burnt cakes, but overall feel rested. Daybreak is here, and it is time to meet in the church before entering the swamp of Lumbridge. You all awake and arrive at the church. You find Bundock nearly ready to leave, having stayed here the night before. Is there any conversation or prepping you guys want to do before we start?
I would say Bundock, when I went to the tavern, I wanted to make a deal with the bartender about buying a keg of that dwarven ale, and I was going to send it back with my kin to give to my dad.
Okay, so just to fast track that, let me see. You want a keg of it, hey?
Like a pony keg, not like a huge
Okay.
one.
He would do it for about 25 gold pieces to have it delivered plus cost.
He's rich. He's got it.
I mean,
Yeah, he's loaded.
Bundock's all about making a fair deal, so I'll do that.
Okay. So you make this deal with bartender Bradley. He's kind of not wanting to do it, having this whole week-long event coming in and new guests, but he's here to make a business and make profit. So he agrees on 25 gold pieces, and he will have it sent to Keldegrim during the next shipment.
So, where are we all sitting?
So you are all arriving at the church.
Point of order, I spent the morning reading through my spell book and preparing my spells for the day, just to put it out there.
Awesome. Anything you guys want to say or do before heading to the swamp?
I go to Solana and say, "Have I noticed you're very one with nature?"
It's interesting that you noticed that. So Solana this morning is very happy, very excited, and has her herbalism kit out with her, which has like pouches and vials. She's so excited to go into the swamp. And so I'm like, yes, I love everything about nature, and I'm so excited to go in the swamp and learn more about nature.
It's a very spooky place. It's like dead trees and all that. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. I don't find death spooky. That the swamp is a delicate ecosystem. So hopefully when we're in there, we can see that like it might be spooky because we're unfamiliar with it, but the death is just part of life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She's like very geeked out.
Yeah, myself, I'm very fond of the woods as well. I've trekked my way a little bit through the swamp. I don't go too far. This will be the farthest I've ever been.
And Lug chimes in and says, "Sometimes I wish Yoshi would just stay in the swamp."
I sock him right in the leg because I'm so small.
Right? So you give him a little dead leg,
Yeah.
not enough to do damage. I won't make you roll an attack, but a point of order. Lug, you have a herb pouch on your side as well, correct?
I think so, yes.
All right, so you and Solana would each have 2 guam leaves in your kits.
Ooh.
That's Guam. And you would also have a Marintil leaf.
What exactly does a Marintil leaf and Guam leaves do?
So Guam and Marintil are very basic herbs. They create the most basic potions. Guam's kind of, if you have the right secondary, can make like a revitalization potion, almost like a sharpen your senses just for a quick moment. But that's kind of what Guams do. You need secondaries to create these potions, and then Marintil are generally used for like antidotes for poisons. But again, you need the secondaries to create these potions.
All right, thank you.
Yep. And I would say both of you are relatively new. Solana, you gather these herbs, you enjoy nature, and you know they benefit, but you're not too keen on herbalism itself and crafting these potions. Same with you, Lug. You're just kind of, it's a hobby. You're just kind of getting into it. It's kind of like a kid's chemistry set at the kitchen table, and you haven't gone out to seek experimental or even learn additional potions quite yet. But that's kind of where you're at, is these base level stuff.
Thank you. So you were saying we already have those.
Yes,
Okay.
those would be in your kits.
Great.
Okay, so you guys kind of talk about the swamp and whether you're prepared. Yoshi and Lug, you both know just from being in Lumbridge that it takes the better part of a full day. It'd be evening if you left now to get through the swamp, depending on what you run into in there or direction. Make sure you're on the right path. So you're going to be gone for the day for sure. Are you guys ready to go, or is there anything else you would like to talk about? Okay.
I'm ready to.
No, I'm
I'd
set.
say, yeah, I'd
Onward.
say, all right. So Yoshi, you've been partway through the swamp. I say, you want to lead the way then, since you more so know where you're going than we do.
Just watch my back, and I got you.
Can do that.
You lead the group out of the church, across the graveyard, and towards the edge of the swamp. And as you leave the town walls, the air has a calm humidity about it in the early morning as the sun is just coming up. You see the horizon. There's a haze, not quite a fog right now, and you already hear the odd crow cawing as it wakes in the morning. Subtle croaking is coming, echoing through this mist. You hear the humming of bugs in the air as they begin to wake and move for the day with the sunlight. It's daunting, but Yoshi, you continue to lead this group into the swamp. The farther you walk in, the ground becomes softer and moss covered. And you guys are watching your step. You start to see little pools of water here and there as the ground becomes more saturated. Is there anything you guys want to talk about as you head through this swamp?
I'll ask Yoshi, like, so in your time wandering through the swamp, what all have you encountered?
I try to avoid most I can. I haven't encountered much. There's like giant rats, but I have never gone far enough to deal with anything too big. I'm 65, but I'm only 4 foot tall.
What are you guys doing as you travel? What are you looking like? Is anybody looking around? Are you guys trying to move stealthily? Are you just trying not to look and you're just watching your feet?
My vote is we try to, get the element of surprise on this crazy beast. So I think we should go as stealthily as possible.
Yeah, I think I would be I don't know the area, so I'd be trying to be mindful of my surroundings.
We have to
Right.
get to Draenor Village. Is that where
Not
we're
quite
going?
to Draenor Village.
the
This is a
tower.
path to Draenor Village, but Father Urhney himself lived somewhere in this swamp last you knew.
Okay. Like, I would say, like, if I'm leading, I'd be like trying to look for any unique like paths taken, you know.
Okay. The air is beginning to warm. Going to be another nice summer day. And with that, the bugs begin to become a little worse and annoying as you make your way through this swamp. Make a survival check for me, Yoshi.
Sure.
21.
21. You are finding the best path through this swamp easy enough. You're not leading them into any pockets of water or over dead trees. There seems to be a set path that people usually traverse when they take this route, as rare as it is. And you notice there are signs here and there of people who have snagged their clothing or lost a shoe in the muck when they're out gathering herbs here. This is definitely the correct path, and you're making good time. I need somebody in the party to roll an encounter for me. A d20, please.
Just one d20.
Yep. Somebody call out who wants to do it.
I'll do it.
All right.
Dang.
I rolled a 3.
A 3. Okay, go ahead and roll a d4 for me now.
Oh,
Oh.
Lug rolled a 2.
Okay.
Can I ask a question before you say what you're going to say?
Yes.
So how much space do we have? Are we walking, like, is it a pretty spacious trail, or are we like single file? Are we close together? Like, are we forced to be in any particular shape given how much space around us? If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So you guys are in like a staggered single file line, kind of stepping where the person in front of you is stepping. Sometimes you got to hop to a higher mound of earth to avoid some water. You're a staggered single file. You're not spread out at all. You're just trying to stay together.
Laterally.
Yep.
Okay, that's helpful. I was going to say Solana is in the back of the group and is not making a lot of noise, but is like lagging because she's stopping every 10 or so feet to like look around and look on the ground and like collect whatever weird like flora she can find in her vial. So she's like maybe not paying a lot of attention to what's happening up front, if that makes sense.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Lug, there's a reason you don't come into this swamp. And with the heat, you're in your robes, you're getting sweaty and sticky. It smells bad here. And the bugs. The bugs are unbearable. For whatever reason, your bald head is attracting the worst mosquitoes. And you're constantly slapping and swatting and trying to get these bugs away from you. And they've bitten you so much, it's making you feel woozy almost, tired. You just want to stop and take a break and do something about these bugs. What do you do?
I tell the group that we need to stop. I'm not feeling so hot.
Look,
And the rest
what's
of you
up?
kind of turn and look at him. You see his bald head has these red bumps all over it. Most of you are wearing hoods or hats of some kind. His bald head is exposed and very full of red bumps.
Look,
You guys do?
look, what's up?
The bugs are really getting to me.
Do you want my robe? I mean, it's a little small, but you could put it on your head.
Only if it flutters in the wind when I run.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll take it and try to protect my head from the bugs.
Okay. You take this smaller cloak. Is it the cloak, Yoshi?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you look at Yoshi and he's wearing this cloak and it's just fluttering in the wind. Even though he's standing still and there is no wind, it flutters. And he takes it off and he hands it to you. And it's small enough for his body that you are able to kind of drape it around your head and turn it into almost like a cowl or a bonnet of sorts, just to protect your bald-skinned head, and it's definitely helping for sure. Um, you're having a hard time keeping your balance as you walk holding this thing on your head, but the bugs are much better. You all proceed through the swamp. It's getting close to afternoon. You're tired and weary, gone a long ways. You guys want to keep going, or are you going to take a break?
While we
How
have the
close
light,
are we?
yeah. While we have the light, we probably want to keep going, and because we don't know how far away this Father Urhney is, right?
Do we know how far away we are from him?
No clue.
Have we seen any people or animals in the time that we've been walking?
Yeah, as you walk, especially Yoshi up front, you take every few steps and then you see a little frog bloop, dive into the water away from your feet. A lot of cawing of crows, kind of looking for anything decaying here to feast on, but nothing that would stand out and have everybody go, "Oh, look at that!" Definitely no people, and you're can tell you're in the center of this swamp at this point. The haze has become more of a fog, and the visual distance is reduced. Solana's kind of lagging back, and you see Fazora and Fubar having a rough time walking all this way with their short legs, jumping from earth pile to earth pile. You guys could tell you're getting tired, but Bundock does say maybe we should press on.
Better do it now than wait in it.
How much more daylight do we have?
You have another half of a day. It's not quite noon yet, so
And we could go a little bit farther and then get ready to set up camp or something.
you guys continue on, dealing with the bugs as best you can, and the heat, and the humidity, the smell. I need one more person to roll a d20 for me.
Bundock will give it a go.
Okay,
A 7.
7. Roll a d4 for me.
3.
A 3. Yoshi, you've been following this kind of path, and you're keeping your eyes out for the best path available. And you look kind of off to your right, and the ground is much more firm and raised. It almost looks like a bank has been formed here for people to traverse on through the swamp to make it easier. Mud has been piled up and vegetation has grown on top of it. And you kind of move the party off of this trail up onto that. And the ground is much more firmer, much easier to walk on, and it's going to quicken your pace. Helpful roll. Well done.
Good rolls. Good rolls.
Good rolls.
You continue on into the afternoon. Lug in Yoshi, based on what you've heard. You're getting close to the other end of the swamp at this point. If there's somebody living off of this path, you're likely getting close to it.
I huddle everybody up. I'm like, come on, come on. I say, I think we're getting closer. We gotta be close. What should we do? Somebody go ahead?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Is anybody in the group here particularly good at sneaking around?
Oh, definitely. But very tired. Been walking a long time.
I thought you're a knight.
But night.
We are, basically, brother.
Like a knight just gives up like that?
What is? I just am tired.
I said,
Just
I'll
a
do
little
it.
break. Give me like a half hour and I'll be all right.
They don't
Oh,
have
I
a half
say
hour.
let's vote between the three of us. Who
Yeah.
amongst of the three of us?
The only people in this conversation, just the three of us. I mean, that
That's
seems
right.
like the easiest thing to do.
So in the interest of fairness, everybody, I think just raise your hand if you think we should take a break. I raise my hand.
I'm on that side.
And those who do not, keep your hand down. Okay, that is one. That's 2 votes for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we ought to take a break.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the people have spoken. All right, Yoshi agrees. We should all just take a break.
The majority have spoken. I think we should
Just
kind of break.
Set up camp right here.
Oh, okay. You want to set up camp in the middle of the swamp and be eaten alive by mosquitoes?
That's what the group wants.
I
Doesn't
mean,
matter what we want.
we had a vote. You all could have been there. There was a flyer. I just kind of shrug my shoulders and
But
sit
all
down.
right, Bundock is gonna press forward a little bit on
I'm
his
gonna
own.
go
then,
with
and
Bundock.
just to kind of scout ahead, see if we're getting close. If we, if there's any sign of Father Urhney.
Are you guys moving quietly?
Yes.
Ideally, yes.
Okay, go ahead and each of you roll a stealth check for me,
Come on, baby.
while the other 4 kind of stay
Ooh,
behind.
all right. Bundock rolled a 19.
16.
Okay, you guys are making your way ahead. Doesn't take too much distance before you disappear into the fog from your group. Using the soft earth, you have no footstep sound whatsoever, and you're doing your best to stay crouched and as small as you can, making your way up this path. The 4 of you are staying behind, sitting down on whatever you can find to rest, appreciative of it.
Yes.
Solana is kind of finally joining the group, and you see in her hands she has several vials of mud or swamp water and pieces of grass. She's been busy as she followed you through the swamp. And do you sit down as well, Solana?
Yes, I wanted to ask you, DM, is if I could look around where the immediate area we were in and look around for plants that I know are edible. Because I've seen that some of the folks are feeling really tired and I think they need a little boost.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
15.
15. You glance around and you don't find edible plants. There's not a lot here without making some form of tea or cooking. Not a whole lot of root-based things that could be consumed. You do, however, find a little patch of 2 leaves, Marantil leaves. If you decide to pick them, you could have 2 more Marantil leaves.
Well, people are off foraging and trying to find the guy. I would like to, if I have stuff for it, brew tea to put in the teapot of peace.
Okay.
I don't want to use it yet, but I want to prepare it.
Okay. Does that prepare it itself, or do you need to do the whole?
It says works. It can only be used if full of tea, which must be brewed and steeped normally.
Okay, so you're gonna need some sort of, unless you do like a cold tea, you would need some form of heat source to make this tea.
I can produce flame for your tea.
I would appreciate that.
Okay, so Solana, you're looking around and you find these 2 Marantel leaves. Do you take them?
Yes.
Okay, you pick them off their stem, add them to your herbalist pouch, and notice Lug getting out this tea set. And he begins to kind of put some of the swamp algae and mosses into his teapot, and he kind of looks around. You see him kind of try to get out some flint and find some dry wood, and you just snap your fingers and produce a flame in front of him.
I kind of jumped back a little bit because I wasn't expecting fire to appear out of nowhere or out of her hand. But then I thank her. I say, thank you, Solana. Hopefully we can enjoy this tea later.
Thank you. Is it a like what kind of tea is it? Is it a specialty?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be real special. Once it gets used, it's more so the vessel it's in that makes it so special, not so much the tea itself.
The pot.
Correct.
I'm very curious. Will you tell me more about this pot?
Um, yeah. So it's a teapot of peace, and sometimes it's just good to have a nice cup of tea with your enemies, and it kind of calms stressful situations sometimes, and
Hmm.
confronting the man in the woods, we may need to use it. So, uh, just getting it ready.
Okay.
Solana's disappointed not because that's not a great idea, but because she was really hopeful that this tea would be for her friend Fozzie, who looks so tired.
Oh, everyone will get some when it's used.
Okay.
We just need a quick breather. That's it. Just quick breather, and we're back going. That's all I
Yeah.
needed. Just a quick one.
Yeah, Fozzie, how you holding up?
I'm taking my boots off and I'm rubbing my toes.
And you do see some red marks on her feet, not quite blisters yet, but Solana, you're kind of taking in the area around you as you're warming this teapot and allowing it to be made. You notice a hole in the side of this raised path. Something had made a burrow into this thing,
Hmm.
and it's maybe 25 feet away from you, but you pick up on it and notice it. The other two, you guys are sneaking ahead. How far are you going?
Let's say till we find something.
Yeah, I don't know, quarter mile or something. Like, hey, we should probably not get too separated from everybody else.
Okay, so you are beginning to pick up sign from people coming from the other direction of the swamp, from Draenor Village, where they come in to gather resources from the swamp. And you also notice this footpath. Maybe after 10-minute walk, kind of go to your north. It's subtle, but having walked through the swamp this far so far, you notice it, Yoshi.
Uh,
And this is like a footpath that deters from like the main path we're on.
Yeah, it's not heavily trafficked, but you can tell there's branches have been cut back, and it's worn down. It's not natural. It's hard to notice, but since you guys are being sneaky and looking for it, you pick up on it.
Bundock, you
Yes,
see that
I would.
path?
Yeah. You think this goes to Father Urhney?
It seems to be off the beaten path.
Well,
Should we
should
get
we?
the others?
We probably should. So, where would BBDM like up over here?
So you guys would be farther along. You'd be more up this way, you and Yoshi.
Okay. So we think we found where his place is. We should probably regroup before we go any farther.
Do you think they'll walk this far? Those so-called knights don't seem to be very knightly.
I don't know how long they were planning to rest for. Well, like we know where this is now, right? Can I like with my little hand axe? Is there like a nearby tree I can mark an X on?
Yeah, there's several downed vegetation here, and you do
Okay.
see some trees that are alive here and there,
Mm-hmm.
small ones, but the majority have fallen.
Gotcha. Yeah, if there's like just something right near where this path splits off, I just want to kind of like mark a fairly visible X, so we can go back and then like we'll for sure not miss it on our way back.
Okay. Easily enough, you notch into one of these down trees and make your way back. Another 10-minute walk or so, and you see the group resting. You see Solana just finishing warming this pot that Lug is holding. Fazora probably putting her boots back on at this point, yeah?
Yeah, and I'm like talking Solana's ear off. I'm like, well, yeah, technically we're called squires, not knights, but 3 a.m. the other night, me and my brother are sitting around, and a guy walks past, and he says to us, he says, "You do this nightly," and as far as I'm concerned, yeah, in a roundabout way, we sort of are knights.
Solana's genuinely laughing. That's very funny. She asks, how are you feeling? Are you really tired still?
Me?
Yes.
Oh no, I was fine the whole time. I was just kind of, you know, if it's what's best for my brother, I guess it's what's best for me, that type of thing,
I
I'm
want
Right.
fine.
to. I want to be talking to Lug, and I want to be like, "Hey, just between me and you, Lug, I was fine the whole time. I just didn't want my sister to get tired. And what if something happened and she was exhausted? You know?"
And I look at him and crack a disingenuous smile and say, I understand, you're probably the man of the house and leader of the group.
No, I wouldn't say the leader, but like we just watch out for each other. You know?
But you like watch out more for her than she you, right?
I mean, in different ways. You know what I mean? Better at some things. We're just a good tag team. If you put
Hey,
labels on it, then it gets all complicated. You know what I mean? We're just fucking equals.
So anyway,
Just
I'm
like
Solana,
kind
you
of
and
like I'm
Yoshi,
kind of like
right?
the man of the house. Anyway, so I'm kind of like
Mhm.
Just
the
like
man of
you
the
and
house.
Yoshi, right?
I say, no, I um definitely need to keep Yoshi in line. Otherwise he
Oh,
gets into trouble.
oh, yeah, yeah. That's pretty clear. You're right. Probably a good call.
whispers to Fozzie, next time you feel like you want to ride, you just let me know. And just like it's really quiet and is like, because I can turn into a horse.
My eyes get wide, and I um I say I have a secret too, except I whisper it in Elvish.
Solana is trying not to be outwardly surprised because we're having a secret conversation. Um, but responds in Elvish to Fozzie and says, I'm gonna text it. I'm gonna text it because nobody else speaks it. So I'm gonna
Oh
text
yeah, yeah,
it. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna
That's
say it
good.
out loud.
That's good. That's so good.
So Lug and Fubar hear these two girls almost giddy whispering to each other on the other side of this little mound. And it's about this time that Bundak and Yoshi come back.
You guys ready to go? We think we found the path to Father Urhney's.
Sure am.
I'm good.
You knights are all rested up, ready to go.
We're squires technically, but
But
I
we
mean,
do it nightly.
yeah. And I just like put a low five behind me, like
Oh,
right
smack the
behind my
shit
back.
out of
Just
that.
And Lug chimes in and says, "You two are aware that nightly and nights are two different words, right?"
so where are we going?
Yeah, we should probably head off. Everybody got their boots on?
Solana,
Yeah.
with your passive perception, something's watching you, the group of you.
Mm.
And, you get the kind of hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit because you can't see it, but you sense it. And you hear this long, loud croaking come from that direction.
Everyone hears it, or just Solana?
All of you hear it.
Dancing lights.
These four
Gotta study 'em
orbs
out.
rise up in front of you, and you push them out into this fog, and you see the haze around each orb. You send it in the direction of this, and you see this massive form silhouetted in the fog of a giant frog
Ugh.
watching you.
Pulling my wand out of my robe.
Cast animal friendship.
And I cast speak with animals at the same time.
Okay. What is the range on animal friendship?
30 feet.
So it needs to make a wisdom save against animals friendship. A 10. So it does save against
Dang.
your friendship spell. You do not make this connection with this creature as it continues to croak loud, almost as if it's calling out into the swamp.
I go, I don't think mine worked.
And
Solana.
when Solana starts to speak, it comes out like a croak. I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
Aw.
But
So
imagine that she's croaking, and it's probably quite jarring.
okay, what are you saying to it?
I say, we mean you no harm. We are looking for the human that lives here.
You guys hear this like quick riveting speech come out of Solana looking at this creature in the fog. The creature's it doesn't comprehend what you are saying, and you just hear it calling out, help, food, help, food. It's just repeating it over and over again. You get the sense that the intelligence of this creature is too low to have a actual conversation with.
By
That's rude.
chance, all those bugs that were attacking me, did I kill any on my forehead before? Like, are there any like stuck to my head?
Yeah, let's say since you were swatting so many, there are like little blood smears and mosquito bodies on your head.
So I like squeegee off of my immaculate bald head, the dead mosquitoes and offer them to the frog.
I will go with you to help you.
Okay.
And I say, as we're walking together, right, Lug?
Yes.
I'm speaking in the ribbits, like food. I'm just saying food over and over again. Food.
And there's an excitement. There's no longer the call for help. It's food, 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 food. And you guys are approaching this thing. And the closer you get, you realize how big it actually is. It could swallow the smaller folk in your party whole. And it kind of like shuffles forward towards you. It's huge. Slimy, green creature of the swamp.
Is he looking at anybody more in particular?
He is staring at the two approaching him right now.
Good.
I have a firebolt ready. I got my wand out like way behind them. Just in case. Like in the event that they start being attacked, I want that thing to go off.
Would I
Okay.
know anything about these frogs? I know I probably haven't ventured this far in. Have I ever seen anything like this?
No, you've heard rumor that there are these frogs in this swamp, but you've never seen them.
I'm gonna get tight to Faz and Fubar.
Okay. For some reason.
I think Solana's
kinda wanna hide.
probably.
I go, I go, if he comes at us, we boogie.
So this creature is staring at you, and you're like holding out this smudge of dead mosquito on your hand. you realize as you get close, this is not going to sustain this creature. What do you guys do?
Can I end my speak with animals whenever I want to?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna end it and say to Lug, I think we need to get out of here.
And I turn to Solana and I flick the dead mosquitoes off my fingers toward the frog and take off running.
So the four of you see Lug flick, turn and run. This creature's eyes both rotate down to the ground where you flick these. Its tongue shoots out, snags it, and it's barely a speck on this massive tongue. You see the inside of this mouth definitely could swallow the smaller members in your group. And Lug is taking off running.
Running. I'm gonna cast Druidcraft to sound like the sound of buzzing mosquitoes, like as far away from me as I can make it sound, to try to
Okay.
distract it.
And you see its eyes like rotating, looking around, trying to see where this buzzing's coming from. It sounds like a nice loud dragonfly or something it could eat. That's all this creature cares about right now is food. As you guys turn and run away
And
from
run.
it, what do the rest of you do?
I'm walking briskly because I'm not afraid.
Danger?
scared.
Is there danger heading? That's...
I say, well, there's a frog that would probably love to have you as an appetizer, Yoshi. You should go check it out.
You see the urgency on Solana's face as she says, "Let's go."
Okay, go.
Yoshi and Bundock in the lead. You guys are easily able to outpace this creature. It's not chasing you. It's very distracted by this buzzing sound, at least until you get out of range of your Druidcraft. And you're able to make your way up into the fog, narrowly avoiding a very hungry creature that had been discovering your place in the campsite there. You make your way maybe 10 minutes or less with a light jog, and you come across this gleaming, fresh chipped bark marker that Bundock had left.
Ah, yes, here it is. This is where where me and Yoshi stopped because the path splits, and you see this path off to the left here that doesn't seem as traveled as much. We assume this leads to Father Urhney.
Assume.
Are you guys making your way down this path?
Everybody cool with
I
that
say we better
assumption?
get down this path before another one of those freaking frogs comes out.
You guys make your way down this path. You said you're doing it stealthily.
Yeah.
All right. I need everyone to roll a group stealth check, please.
Bundock got a 13.
Lug rolled a 19.
Ubar got a 9.
Solana got a 15.
Fazora rolled a 2.
Yoshi rolled a 14.
I just reach over and high five her. 9 and a
Eh.
2. Bam.
Twins.
Oh, bad.
So the twins are just like talking about, did you see the size of that creature? Oh my god, like just whispering to each other, kind of having this discussion. The rest of you are like, hey, quiet down. And you make your way up this path. As a group, you did pretty well, pretty quiet, using the environment to your advantage. And before long, you hear waves crashing on a beach somewhere in this fog. And out of the fog, a structure can be seen. The ground is hardening, it's less saturated, and you see a small building set between the edge of this swamp and what appears to be a coast. The building looks like it's in pretty good shape considering the amount of moisture it's exposed to here. And you guys just are seeing the side wall of it from where you're located. What would you like to do?
Can I sneak up look into a window?
Yes.
Hey, I'm just gonna go look in the window real quick.
Yeah,
gonna
I
sneak
want to
up
come
there.
too.
Just wait here. It'll be like 2 minutes tops, and then you can go.
Okay.
Right. Fubar, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
24.
24, easily enough. You guys don't even hear him walk away as he's light on his feet quickly, using the terrain. As you approach, you see this door on the south-facing wall that is covered in vines. You see 2 windows and a flickering light inside. You approach and get underneath the windowsill and peek up. Go ahead and make a perception check.
It's a 2.
You're on your
reach the
tippy
windowsill.
toes looking over this, and you can't quite see. You do see a shadow moving inside in this flickering light, but you can't quite peer into this building. But there's something moving around in there.
Would that perception count if I wanted to look for something to stand on?
No. Are you looking to find something?
Yeah, to get a better look in the window.
Okay, make it an investigation check.
16.
16. Not a whole lot around here. The front of this place is pretty well kept. You notice you may be able to pull yourself up onto these vines and use these vines to kind of climb up a little bit to get a better look.
I kind of want to pull myself up really fast and just look to see if I can get a good look at just who is standing in there, like what they kind of look like.
Okay, being this is your second attempt to look, I'll have you roll another perception check at disadvantage.
2.
2 again. The window just appears to be
Hey.
covered in some form of residue from the moisture, and you pull yourself up, but it's too hard to look through. You're straining too much. You can't get a good look, and you lower yourself back down.
When I lower myself down, I just want to sneak back to the group, pretty disappointed in myself.
What did you see anything?
I come back. There's got to be magic or something going on. I can't see anything at all. I didn't see a single thing inside there. Just was like a fog kind of inside.
Or could you just not see above the window?
I can
It
see
looked like you were
inside the
kind
window.
of struggling.
Oh no, definitely. I saw right inside there.
You just said you couldn't see inside there.
Yeah, because there has to be magic going on. That's why I couldn't see that well in there.
Oh, okay.
Yoshi struts forward. Are you casting Detect Magic?
Yeah, I was going to anyway.
Okay. All right, go ahead and cast that if you want to send it in the chat for me to look at.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you see in the group around you, there's several pings with this spell. Surprisingly, your group is holding several magical items. But you're focused on the building, and on the outside, from what you can tell, doesn't seem to be any magic emanating from this building.
I go, no magic in the building there, Fubar.
Yeah, it's probably broken.
I don't think spells
The
just are
window?
broken.
I mean, maybe you said it wrong. I don't know. I just couldn't see in there, so it's just normally I would do really good at that, you know.
Bundock is gonna speak up and
magic
say, all right, how about we kind of divide and conquer here? I'm gonna go knock on the door, and you guys kind of like maybe hang on the side of the building, kind of hang back, and if there's an issue, like if I get attacked or something, then you guys rush in.
Works for me.
What if Lug, the priest, is at the door?
Yeah,
yeah,
Father
Lug, do you
Urhney.
still have the tea? Sorry.
No, yeah, absolutely.
He's on like a wellness check.
I think that's a really good idea.
He would know Father Urhney, right? I think he did.
You haven't seen them since you were kids. You know who you would recognize them, at least from what you remember, but whether Ernie remembers a grown man from 20 years ago as a kid, that's debatable. But he's wearing the same robes that Lumbridge priests wear.
What tea?
I had just brewed some special tea just in case things get out of hand. It's nothing like a good cup of tea to quell some sticky situations.
As
mean-
him being my brother, would I know he has this teacup on him? He got it for
Absolutely.
Christmas, right?
Yeah. From what you remember, he got this tea set, and you got this cloak. Same year, you remember. I can't remember who gave it to you guys, but you remember getting it.
And I think even more, Lug should go to the door and we do what Boondock said. In case things go haywire, we hang out on the sides.
You could invite him to the celebration, the festival.
Smart. All right, so I'm gonna walk up to the door and give it 3 loud
I
raps.
think we all hang out. Oh, we're gonna hang out on this far.
Yeah, I kind of want to peek. I want to get like close to the edge by Bunduck and like peek around the corner, like pop my head out a little bit.
And I just
Hey.
want to say that when Lug says that he does 3 loud raps, it's actually like, my name is Lug, and I'm here to say, but he does it 3 times. In my mind, that is what's happening. You could also just do the door knocking noise. I mean, either way.
Lug, as you approach, you can see through these windows, no problem. There is somebody moving around inside. You see the flickering of candlelight, and you walk up to the door, and boom, boom, boom. Hello?
I say, Father Urhney, it's Lug. Lug from the church.
What church?
The Saradomin Temple.
In Lumbridge?
Yes, there's a big festival this weekend, and I wanted to extend an invitation.
Well, that sounds nice. And you hear the door open, and you see a frail old man, fairly spry, living in very simple quarters. You see a study desk covered in parchment and books with a chair in front of it. You see a simple bed off to the left, candlelight flickering. But the biggest thing you see are these large bookshelves loaded with books. And he happens to be holding one that he has closed. It's under his arm. He goes, "Ah, I don't recognize you, Lug. I'm sorry. Are you new?"
No, the last time you had saw me, I was but a child.
Child. What is your last name?
River Song?
Oh, the River Song boy. Yes. Yes. Well, nice to see you all grown up. I guess it's been quite some time. What can I do for you? You have an invite for me?
Yes, there's a festival this weekend. But I also needed some help with something else.
Oh, well, sure. What is it? And the rest of
Um,
you hear this simple conversation going on inside. Sounds very harmless, honestly.
uh, so first I say I have some friends with me. May they join us?
Yeah, sure. I don't have any kind of glances around. There's no furniture to sit on aside from the bed or the chair at the desk. Um, I don't have much, but yet they're welcome. Sure.
All right. I pop my head back out the door and wave the group in. Say, "Come on, guys."
All right.
Solana looks before Fozzie walks too far away. Is like laughing and in Elvish says to Fozzie, "I hope he has clothes on."
Yeah,
he sounds
I
like a creepy old man.
he does. Yeah.
I say, can I want to, before Bundat goes in, I want to say, keep your wits about you and Dorvish to him.
Nod my head and acknowledge, but like kind of puzzled that he can speak Dwarvish.
You enter and see this frail old man. He's wearing a black shirt, brown pants. He's holding a book. And you guys notice the same thing, these large bookshelves loaded with books, very simplistic living. You see a wooden plate that's got some bread scraps remaining on it. He goes, "Oh, there's several of you. Okay, well, my name is Urhney. It is nice to meet you all. Oh, you don't need to give me your names. It's fine. I won't remember anyway. What can I do for you, Lug River Song of Lumbridge?"
Yes. So we not only is there a festival, but there was some paranormal stuff going on at the church, and a skull had went missing, and we were just wondering if you could help us find it or if you knew anything about it.
A skull, huh? From the graveyard? What? How can I help? Why'd you come see me?
Cause I remember when I was, just a young lad that you used to kind of dabble with some necromancy. I'm not saying you're blaming you for anything, but I just, I maybe you could help us point us in the right direction of someone who would need a skull of a founder of the town.
Um, fair enough. To be clear, necromancy, not my thing. I'm very interested in the world between the living and the dead, but I would never raise anything from the dead. That's creepy.
Oh,
Uh,
so like necrophilia.
that, no! What? No! Spirits, ghosts, zombies, things like that. Um, those that get trapped in the in between. I like to help. Is the goal and find out why they remain behind. I have no interest in rising those that are already peacefully at rest or feeling them.
Can I insight check his ass?
Make an insight check.
I want to walk closer to the door and kind of grab Foz's hand a little bit and like start pulling her this way a little bit. Like,
That's
yeah, I don't know if we should be here.
18.
An 18. So when Lug mentions the skull being taken, you briefly, ever so briefly, see a reaction on his face. But he hides it well, but you catch it. And then the rest of what he's saying seems to be genuine. Just reading his body language and his face, he's not avoiding anything. He's being truthful. That those are his interests.
But like when he mentions the skull, like is he acts really weird or
Doesn't act. He has like this uncomfortable almost shift about his facial features and his body language, and then it's almost instantly corrected. But you catch it at the mention of the skull. But the rest just seems normal, honest conversation. He says, so I don't know anything about a skull per se, but I guess I'm confused. What led you to me? Why did you think I took it?
Father Eric said that he he had seen someone broke into the mausoleum and saw somebody run into the swamp. So we went into the swamp, and you're the first person we've come across in said swamp.
I see.
Seems
but
suspicious.
your name was brought up that you live in the swamp, so you're our first choice.
Sure. Yeah, Eric. Yes, he knows where I live. At least
I,
where I settled.
I say, I want to interrupt you. I said, you don't know anything about this skull.
The skull. No, which you said mausoleum. There's only the one. A Fesher, Lumbristo. That's it. His coffin is the only one in a mausoleum. His skull was taken.
Yeah. And his ghost is roaming around the graveyard now.
This gives a reaction, an excited reaction. A ghost? How do you know?
We talked
We've
to him.
all, yeah,
We
and we've
watched
all
him.
seen him.
Fubar talked to
Wait,
him.
You talked to a ghost. How?
Oohs and ahs.
Oh, it wasn't in a conversation, but you communicated.
Yeah. 1 ooh for no, 2 oohs for yes.
He is excited. Did this entity reach out to you? Did you have to summon it?
We just followed it.
Ah, it haunts! It haunts the graveyard! And he's very excited. He goes and he sits down at his chair and he flips open a notebook and he begins scribbling in it very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear to see because the body is no longer intact the way it was buried, the spirit now roams the body's resting place.
Very interesting.
We need the skull back because we assume maybe then the ghost will go away.
Very, very possible, dwarf. Yes, I have researched this for many, many years. Spirits, they tend to be pulled from their rest and get trapped. And it is only the reason that they were pulled needs to be reversed to put them back to rest. And it could be a memory that does this. It could be something physical, which it sounds like in this case. His skull was taken. And he has risen. And he's just scribbling notes down. He says, I guess, why is there so many of you?
Well, if it's obvious, if we had to fight, we were going to fight.
Oh, a battle. And he
To
kind
get the
of
skull back.
Yeah.
chuckles. Well, in terms of the skull, I can't help you there. It just wasn't I that took it, of course. But communicating instead of oohs and ahs, I may have something for you to find out maybe a better lead or what happened from the ghost himself. Does that interest you?
Yeah.
Can I try to insight check him when he says he doesn't know anything about the skull?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Bundock rolls a 17.
You catch almost more of a fib than a lie. He seems truthful that he does not have it, but knowing nothing about it may be a different story. And he's dancing around that fact.
Anyone have Zone of Truth?
A little early to have that, I think.
Nope.
Yep.
Oh,
That's what's my thought too.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna-
a bunch of fucking nerds, huh? With obviously too early for that spell.
Well, actually, that's level 3 cleric.
Since you're
Actually,
asked, yes, I do.
that's a great show.
I'm gonna I get kind of. I say, yeah. I mean, talking to the dead is interesting, but we're trying to figure out the skull issue. If you don't have it or claim to don't know about it, do you know of anybody nearby who would want to take the skull for some reason?
And now that you've straight up asked him, you all see this uncomfortable shift in his eyes and his body language as he's sitting almost with his back to you. He stops writing for a moment. He goes, don't involve me in this, please. I'm willing to help you communicate with this entity and find out what happened. I can't give you what you're looking for. I don't know. He seems defeated. And he says, I heard a rumor in Draenor Village. A outsider to the arcane was around and asking a lot of questions about the histories of the towns nearby. That is all I know. He came to see if there was anybody that knew much about the dead. And I left. I didn't want to talk with him. I had a bad vibe.
Could you describe what he looks like?
Or did you catch a name?
Well, I didn't speak with him
Hmm?
directly. People are telling me he was looking for me. So I've been in this hut ever since. This was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I'm scared to go back to town if he's waiting for me. And it sounds like maybe this is the individual you might be looking for, but I don't want to be involved. Please, don't get me involved.
All right, here, calm down. Here's an idea for you. What if you come back to Lumbridge with us? You can talk to the ghost. We'll be there to chime in on it, and then maybe you can show Father Eric what you're doing, and maybe you guys can kind of reconcile, because he gave us a little backstory.
He glances up at his bookshelves. He says, I appreciate that offer. I am much too old for that now. I can't leave my dwelling here for too long. I don't even know if I'd make the trip there or back. But I'm willing to help you. And he reaches around in his robes around his neck and he pulls off this necklace. And it's made of bone beads, like vertebrae of some small animal, tied around like a leather strap. And in the center looks some form of rodent skull of some kind. And he goes, I do feel this may be able to help you. If I've did things right over the last 30 years and the enchantment has worked, this will allow you to communicate with entities, spirits, ghosts. Try it out. Maybe someday you can let me know how it worked. And he holds it out. Who's going to take it?
I think it just makes sense as a cleric. I should.
I was gonna vote
Agreed.
Lug take it.
Okay. You reach out questioningly to grab it. Everything you've heard about this old man was very crazy ideas and things over the years, and it has necrotic vibes to it, being made of dead animals and whatnot. But you get no repulsion to it as you take it. This is a amulet of ghost speak, and you get +1 to charisma checks while speaking with ghouls and ghosts.
You said +1.
+1 to charisma base checks. Is anybody else doing anything in his house, or are you just sitting and listening?
No, I'm looking through the books for sure.
Okay.
I asked him what book he was reading before we came in.
Before you get to that, I've literally been like jumping on his bed this whole time.
You've been what?
Jumping on his
Jumping on
bed,
the bed.
this whole time.
Okay. Okay. Fazora, you see paranormal books, condemned souls, books on the gods individually. You see books on things known as the God Wars You see books on assisting souls and spirits. You see books on divine relics. You see all sorts of spiritual and deity-based literature here. And every shelf is loaded with these. On his desk, who has that, Lug? The book he was holding?
Yeah.
You see it on his desk next to him, and it appears to be you see the cover is a big moon and a big sun. But there's no wording on the spine or the cover.
Do I recognize the symbols at all?
Make a history check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. What?
I'm trying to pocket a book, by the way. I know that they're gonna probably be too big, but
I rolled a 10 and an 8.
An 8. The symbols don't draw to you. You know there are deities representing, the sun and the moon, but you don't know what they are. You've never delved into that. Your focus has been on the light and the light Slayer Doman provides and sharing that word with those that visit Lumbridge. But Bazor, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. Are you interested in any particular book?
I want to try to steal the book about the God Wars.
Okay.
Okay, sleight of hand.
While I can I is it okay
11.
if I catch that Fazora is trying to
Advantage?
do this?
Nope, I was lobbying for advantage for no reason. I shouldn't have interrupted you.
Well, I will say this. Do you say anything to anybody before you do this? Or do you just go for it?
I'm like, well, first I'm checking to see if his attention is with the group, and then I'm like doing like the head, flick to my brother to like come to me.
Did I notice it? I mean,
Uh, well, I will say, are you more interested in what this guy is saying? Or are you more interested in watching your sister?
probably more towards my sister than this guy. He already told us he doesn't have it, and that's all. My brain shut off right there. Like, oh, okay, we don't need to talk to this dude. No.
Okay, so I would say, yeah, you guys are used to being in situations together, and you're kind of watching her back as you see her kind of motion you to come over. Solana, you see Fazora checking out these books and motion Fubar to join her. Is there anything you do?
Just walk over to Foz.
I'd like to walk up to the man and say thank you for the help and the amulet, and I open my palm and cast Druidcraft, and I make a yellow flower appear, and I hand it to him, mostly trying to distract him from what they're doing.
Okay, so let me roll.
So we would be over here by all the books, right?
I will make him roll a perception check at disadvantage here. An 11 and a 7. So the 7 is definitely less than your sleight of hand 11 as you reach up and slide this book off the shelf as Solana is showing him this flower.
I just maintaining eye contact with Fubar. I just kind of like tuck it into the inside of my robe, and we slowly turn back around.
I want to look at Foz real quick and go, do we get green?
I shake my head yes, and then I ever so slightly shift myself to where I'm kind of in front of him.
I
to, to create
just
a
grab a
barrier.
random book, not even just whatever looks like the most valuable book, and I just grab it.
Okay. Roll a D6 for me.
D6, 5.
That's funny. You're just grabbing it and tucking it. You're not looking
Yep.
at it, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I will note what book you took, and it is tucked away.
I don't need to. I just get it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. No. Fazor is sitting in front of you, and he is definitely distracted. So
Sweet.
he goes, "Wow, that's beautiful. Is it permanent, or is this one of those things that disappear?"
Is anything permanent? And it disappears.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
From what I've learned, no, nothing is permanent, including death. I hope this helps, and I beg all of you, do not even mention you are here. If this person is looking for me, it sounds like he's up to no good. I don't want to be involved. I'm too old for that.
Bug says
Yeah.
that you have our word. They won't know who gave us the information.
Thank you. I wish you the best of luck. Are you going straight back to Lumbridge?
I guess we haven't
How
really talked about it.
how far away are we from
Draenor.
Draenor from here?
Oh, a half-hour walk, maybe.
Am I saying
Oh.
that right? Draenor?
Yep, Draenor Village.
Draenor.
I mean, I would think if we're almost at Draenor Village, we should probably go try to figure out who this person is if we're almost there.
Yeah. Maybe there's
Fair
somewhere we can
sentiment.
get some food.
Like I said, that was about a week and a half ago. If you want to see if he's hanging around looking for me, it'd be cool if you would let me know that. I don't know what kind of time crunch you are on. I can get you back to Lumbridge right now, instantly, if you choose to do that. Completely up to you.
I think we could go talk to the ghost and see if we could get any more details about who took his skull.
I can't remember if we asked him that and if we got a yes or a no. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
But now we have an amulet.
Right, but if we asked him, "Do you know who took your head?" and he said no,
You
I
asked the
can't remember.
ghost if he knew who took it, and he said no. You asked if he saw who took it, and he said yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember. So yeah, no, we should go back and talk to him if we can fully talk to him now.
No, the the he's saying he would send us back to Lumbridge if we go to Draenor Village first and make sure that it's safe for him to.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
you
no, no, no,
teleport
no,
us
no,
right
no.
now.
No, yeah, he's saying he can get you to Lumbridge instantly right now to talk to the ghost, or if you do happen to go to Draenor, report back to him to let him know if it's safe. It's like one or the other.
Right, because then we could get detail what the guy looked like. And then just walk to Draenor. Or maybe like we could get horses or something.
But we're almost at Draenor Village now. Why not just go there now and
Because we don't really know who or what we're
Yeah,
looking
we
for in
don't know
Draenor
what the guy
Village.
looks like. If we had confirmation or a description from the ghost, then we'd know who to look for. Be easier, right?
I mean, I feel like if we go asking around, hey, is there some creepy person who's trying to mess with undead people? I think that's gonna kind of narrow the search down.
Yeah, but he probably has followers there too, and us going around asking.
You
It's
think
gonna
he
make
just
him
stands up and
leave.
goes, "That's
What?
me"?
We messed up some goblins. You guys aren't afraid of a little spat, are you?
I'd
He
rather
also
hear.
told you that the guy was there a week and a half ago. Whether he's still there, you don't know.
I think Bundock just wants to go get some ale.
I mean, not opposed to that.
This is an intervention.
This has been a whole setup.
Interventions are for people who have problems. And I'm pretty good at drinking. I don't got a problem.
All right.
The old
So
man sits down and he
Jerry.
goes,
Jerry.
"Let me know. I can help you get there. If not, come back and see me."
What? Did you know any more information about this? Like I said, did you catch a name or?
As far as I know, he didn't give a name. I heard he was looking for me and he was interested in the history of the dead in the towns. I left. I was told. I never spoke with him, saw him, nothing. I don't get mixed up in that stuff anymore. I'm kind of don't like y'all being here now.
Would you tell us who told you that he was looking for you? Where did you hear that?
It was Morgan in Draenor Village. He's a nice man, kind of scared of the dark, but a nice man.
Where does he live or hang out in Draenor Village?
He has a house there, just off the main street. If you ask around, you'd be able to find it. I've never been to his house myself. I just know he lives there. Ran into him in the market, actually. Ooh, another thing. Eric would probably want you lug to have this. And he hands you a kind of scuffed silver necklace. And it's got a jade gemstone set into it. He goes, "We used to travel a lot when we were much younger. That will help you travel to a couple of places. It can take up to 8 people, and you need to choose between 3 locations: the Wizard Tower Causeway, the Ardoin Outpost, or the Oozer Mines within the desert." Kind of helped us jump around while doing research and getting places quick.
does this necklace have a name?
It is the Necklace of Passage.
Take it from his hand and bow in thanks.
Solana, the Ardoin Outpost piques your interest.
Okay.
That is just east of the Tarangan region. Has its place in your elf-kind history. So it just,
Okay.
you clock it, but it's not anything that's like, oh my god. And then the Desert Mines and the Wizard Tower Causeway, which isn't too far away from where you are now. It's just south of Draenor Village.
How often can this be used?
That there, we've used it a little bit. It's got 2 charges left on it. It's doesn't do me any good anymore, and it seems that you are starting to explore a bit yourself. You find better use in it. Don't tell Eric I gave it to you, though, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, but can I ask why?
Eric has issues with people who begin to branch away from the church. He may think I'm trying to influence you.
Ah,
You go, Father. I jump off the bed.
Yes.
I go, all these books you've read, Father Eric
Uh,
can never seem to help me. And I show him my necklace. I go, have you seen anything like this in any books you've read out here?
wow. Yes, I've read all these books several times through. Yes, yes. Let me see. And he gets up and he walks straight towards the twins. And he goes, excuse me.
We run
Excuse
towards
me.
the
Oh
door.
no.
And he like double takes and notices, wow, you look familiar. And he turns back to his books and he's like, let's see. And you see him pause at like an opening, and he just a quick second, but his fingers keep moving down the spines, and he pulls out a book. He goes, yes, let me see. He puts it down on the desk and he's flipping through it, and it is the book on the individual gods. And he flips open, yes, here it is. And he holds it up, and you see a picture of your amulet in this book. That is a old relic. It is one that worships Bandos, the god of war. Not seen quite some time. That is very old. Where did you come by that? I remember seeing something like that in my past.
I was left on the doorstep of the monastery.
Oh my gosh, you're Yoshi!
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow, you two have grown so much. Yes, that has troubled our minds for many years. Where you came from and why you had that. Mystery indeed.
Yes. Thank you, Father.
Yes, anytime. I'm always ready to help when it comes to the undead and the gods. I've invested my life in it. So, have you decided? Are you going to Drainer Village, or can I take you to Lumbridge right now?
I mean, I'm down to go to Drainer Village. You said we can look for your buddy Morgan, and he can point us in the direction of whoever this other person is.
Lug says he wants to go to Lumbridge.
I go where Lug goes.
2-1. Solana?
I think we can always come back to Draenor after we talk to the ghost so we get a good description. So I think we should go back to Lumbridge.
But that's why we talked to Morgan to get the description. And
Oh, we don't know if that guy took the skull or not. This could just be some weirdo.
That's 3-1.
Well, if it's 3-1, then my vote doesn't matter, so I don't have to vote.
Your vote always matters, Lug says.
Okay.
What is
Sounds
the
like
vote? Sorry.
it would be Lug, Yoshi, Fubar. 3-1 right now. To go back
there's
to
2 more that
Lumbridge.
needs to vote still. So
Yep.
my
Yeah.
vote does matter.
It does
I'm
matter.
sorry.
That's what I was
thought I
thinking.
was
No.
last. Oh no. I just don't care either way. I'll
Same.
do with whatever Fubar does.
Okay. Bundock, you've been outvoted.
I vote to go back to Lumbridge as well, but I don't say why.
And he digs in the pockets of his pants and pulls out this palm-sized square stone tablet. And there's a glyph of the Lumbridge banner set upon it. If you are ready, I will send you there now. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
I give a thumbs up.
Ready?
And I say, pray Sarah Doman.
He raises it above his head and he spikes it in the middle of all of you, and you all feel yourself get whoosh, tight, pulled straight into this tablet. And you all feel yourself compressed. And in an instant, you're stretched back to regular size, standing at the gate of Lumbridge. And that is where we will leave it for tonight. Thank you for listening to 99 D&D. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. If you did enjoy, please like the video, comment your favorite part or character, and subscribe to see the next video on where our adventures are headed. Also, look for us on x.com at 99dndingpod or on Instagram at 99dnd. Join us next time as we continue the grind.